Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz, March 3, 2016, 3:12 p.m. in Birmingham. Odd number for me to be using time-wise, usually at 3:12 a.m. In any case, this blog is just in remembrance of a very special person. 99.9999% of you won't know the name, but I just want to mention him. He's the man that pretty much raised me. His name is Paul Anthony Contorno. I went to work for him when I was young, and three of my brothers worked for him as well. My older brother worked for Contorno, and then my next brother worked for Contorno, and then I worked for Contorno, and then my little brother worked for Contorno. And he had an impact on me and on my life in a pretty profound way. I went into the same type business. I was on the police department, well, first working for him, of course, from age of 14 to the age of 20. And but he remained my friend all the rest of my years, the rest of his years. And he taught me to drive a car. And this is a story I don't tell a lot about because I don't remember to tell it until after the fact. But I'm going to tell you, I was 16 now, and I had been driving automatic cars around the parking lot, but that's about it. But he wanted to teach me to drive a straight shift. In this case, in 1966, it was a 1963 Corvette, and it was 4-speed. And we washed cars there at his location by hand. So every time I'd get ready for a wash, I'd yell at Contorno or Charlie or somebody, "Hey, bring me another car." Well, he finally said, "I'm going to teach you to put them in here. So let's learn how to drive starting right now." We sat in the Corvette. We're about 10 feet in front of the door entering into the bay. So we, calm voice, okay, he said, "Now press in the clutch." And which one? Well, it's the only one you can press other than the brake and the gas. Anyway, press in the clutch, put it in gear, and slowly ease the clutch out and slowly depress the gas. Well, what I had done was smoked those tires. I lit them up from 10 feet outside the car wash through the bays, 30-something feet, and then finally found the brake, locked up, and skid right up to and within about 8 inches of a fence that went into another neighbor's piece of property. And then Paul just calmly said, "Okay, well, try it again later." And he got out of the car, or got me out, and then he backed it up, put it back in the wash. Paul Contorno was a legend in those days. He owned a drag strip outside of Birmingham, Alabama, or in Birmingham, Alabama, called LASSITER Mountain. And he held records in B gas and C gas for 20 years, maybe 25 years. He won some Grand Nationals down in Biloxi, Mississippi. He won them at Steel. Didn't race long at Steel because he was about to get out of it. And Anyway, I say Biloxi, Mississippi. Yeah, Biloxi and Bristol, Tennessee, another location. But he was a record holder, and he was known throughout the racing world, drag racing world. And he introduced me to a lot of people. He introduced me to Don Garlics, Big Daddy Don Garlics, Patera, Glenn Hauser. And these guys were just, they could sleep while their hands did the work on the car, and they'd get it right. And but he passed away 2 days ago, and I have a viewing here in about 2 hours. And but Paul A. Contorno, he changed my life. He raised me, and I can't say a lot about, because I did have a father, but you know, Contorno was my pop. And but he'll be remembered. He was the original Birmingham bunch of Italians and Lebanese that came here back in the late 1800s, mid 1800s. And they owned about every place in Birmingham where you could shop and eat. They had everything. Supermarkets started off with little curbs, stores, and then the nicest restaurants in all of Birmingham, and there's a lot of them. One, the Salem brothers, or Ed Salem's. These two guys were halfbacks on the University of Alabama football. And my mother worked for these guys, and I worked for the Contornos. In any case, there's a lot there to say about that man and his wife. His daughter is a nun, and he taught me to drive enough so that he could trust me to start driving her to and from John Carroll School, which is a Catholic school, the biggest in this part of the state. And she's a nun in Coleman, St. Mary's. And but anyway, I just wanted to mention him. And this is not one I will use permanently. I'll replace this with another. But for now, I just want to pay my respects to everyone that knew and loved Paul Contorno, including me and my wife. Me and my wife, Paul and his wife, we went to Switzerland on a trip we'd won together. Drove through the countryside, and I took, I can't recall, 15 to 20 rows of 35 exposure, 35 millimeter film. And Paul he said, if you don't stop taking pictures, we're going to start paying rent everywhere we go because you spend so much time. Well, when he retired some years later, the highlight of his retirement party was looking at some 500 plus pictures that I took. I'd say 438, something like that. That was the highlight of his party. And it was a book that my wife put together for him and for his wife. In any case, Contorno is going to be missed, and I know, and he knows, to be sure and tell my wife hello when he gets there, because she'll be there to meet him. Jody Wolf Expoz.